Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's looking suitably gloomy here in England, or in other words, pitch black. It's getting dark very early now. So I am going to take you to East Africa, where I just was last week. I got back last week from a fantastic itinerary, which includes 4 of the Small World Marketing clients. And we've talked a lot in the past about how these 4 make up a great itinerary together. And so we decided to execute that in a fam trip, a group fam trip, which went really well and was really awesome to kind of see how this works as an itinerary. So I'll take you through a little bit about each client. If you would like more in-depth training on any of the clients, then we do have individual webinars on each of them, all hosted on our YouTube channel, where this will also be hosted. And also all their information is listed on the Africa Hub's accommodation hub. So that is the kind of one-stop place to find kind of everything on each of these clients. So as I said, this will be recorded. We'll be popping it on the YouTube in the next couple of days. We will also be sending out a follow-up, which will include information on all of our clients and also the recording as well. And then we will be sending out that follow-up in the next couple of days. So to get started, also, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, do please pop them in the Q&A and I'll get to them at the end. So this is a handy little map of the itinerary. So we start in Nairobi at House of Waine. We then head to the Maasai Mara. Then from the Maasai Mara up to Lewa. That's a really nice twin safari going from kind of the National Reserve, where you've got that real incredible density of game, then up to Lewa, where you have an abundance of activities, incredible landscapes, and also incredible game. And then finishing off at the beach at Zanzibar White Sand down on Zanzibar. So House of Waine is a city hotel. It's located in Karen in Nairobi. Karen is a lovely leafy suburb. It's where there's lots of lovely hotels in this area. There's also a lot of the kind of, I suppose, the tourist stops here as well. Places like the Daphne Sheldrick Elephant Orphanage, the Giraffe Sanctuary. You've got the Karen Blixen Museum, and there's also actually the Golf and Country Club around the corner as well. And so House of Waine is located in a brilliant spot to kind of explore all of these places. It's a small hotel. It's only 11 rooms in the main hotel, and then there is a 2-bedroom cottage on the property as well. You're so situated on this beautiful kind of 2 acres of gardens. When we arrived here, it had been raining quite a lot. I know Kenya has had quite a lot of rain lately, but it was looking very lush and very green and very beautiful. And when the weather's all right, you can sit out on this terrace here for breakfast or have your tea out here. And so it's a really nice spot to kind of base yourself, particularly if you've got guests coming in from, I don't know, say the US or Australia or Asia, where you have got big time differences, and then you can kind of have that downtime and that day in Nairobi to explore and kind of get onto the time zone before then heading off on a safari, which obviously the timings of safari is early mornings, sometimes late nights. So yeah. So the hotel, this is a little shot on the right-hand side of the cottage, which is a little 2-bedroom cottage. The main hotel, we've got a lovely big lounge area, which is just off the dining room. It's nice to have a drink here or on that outdoor terrace for dinner. And there is a lovely big pool here as well. So when the weather is good and when it's warm here, it's very nice to come and hang out by the pool. It's also, we do a day rate, which is $60 to spend the day at House of Waine. You can make use of the pool and the gardens. There's changing rooms at the pool as well, so guests can make use of those facilities too. And it's just nice for those guests who might have sort of a long layover and want a nice spot to hang out in. We have 10 bedrooms in the property, all overlooking the beautiful gardens. We have 4 rooms that are interleading, so 2 sets of interleading rooms, which work really nicely for families. And then we also have our suite, a Malika suite. So behind here, you've got a big kind of living area as well, and then a slightly bigger terrace. So that's a really nice space, especially if you've got guests with a couple of nights. And then we have our 2-bedroom cottage. So this has a 1 double room and then 1 sort of single room, so great for a family with 1 small child or 2 small children, and we can add in a cot in here as well, and it just gives them their own space. They're out in the gardens, they're quite close to the pool, and they can just have their own space to kind of spread out, be as loud as they want, and not have to kind of worry about other guests in the main hotel. And then, as I said at the beginning, really close to some brilliant activities. So I had 1 day in Nairobi this time. I headed off first thing to the elephant orphanage, then went for lunch. Then we went to the giraffe sanctuary in the early afternoon, and then onto the Karen Blixen Museum. So it was really easy to kind of combine those together. We just had a driver for the day. And everything was really, really close by. And we even managed to sort of nip back to the hotel and pick up another person for our afternoon activities after lunch. So it works out really nicely just with the driver for 1 day. So really easy to kind of do sort of 2 nights here and then head off first thing the next morning. So just a quick look at Naibor Camps. So Naibor is in the Maasai Mara, so located in the reserve. So we're in the National Reserve and in a really kind of central location within the National Reserve as well. And I think it's really nice then combining this with a conservancy. So, you know, either heading up to somewhere like Lewa or Barana, or even combining with a Mara conservancy if guests would like to do that. Being in the reserve, you do have that incredible density of game. It is really, really amazing game viewing. We were here just now in kind of the lower season. No, we did not see very many herds. They'd already left. So you do miss out on the kind of migration side of it in the low season. But that being said, the abundance of other game here was still incredible. You know, we had big herds of buffalo. We had great cat sightings. And, you know, some of which, you know, we were at a cheetah sighting completely by ourselves. We had lion sightings just with 1 other vehicle. So you do then also have the, you know, lower density of vehicles by being here in the lower season. So there definitely is something to be said for traveling outside of that peak season if guests are able to do that. The property is split into 3 camps. So we have Naibor Wilderness, which is our kind of entry-level price point camp. We've then got main Naibor, which has got 7 tents and is located all the way along the river. And then we have Little Naibor, which is kind of the perfect family option. We've got 2 of these double tented suites. So Little Naibor and Main Naibor share this mess area. There are some sort of soft refurb updates happening here in terms of structure and all the rest of it. It's more or less stayed the same, but there are a few little soft updates that are happening. We will also be getting hopefully updated photography in the new year. So the deck here at the back there, we can see the beanbags. It has been extended. So we have got a larger deck now, and it sort of goes over the river a bit more, and you can kind of see down the river, which is really nice. It's also been extended out to the side, and we've got some lovely couches out there as well. And in main Naibor, we got to see the kind of new what one of the new tents will look like. So it's the same tent structure, but the interiors have just had a bit of a spruce up. So sort of new soft furnishings and just sort of more practical bits, things like places to put your clothes, a little desk and things like that, just to kind of make it feel much more homely in there, and also just more practical as well. So hopefully we'll be getting new photos of those as well in the new year, and it did look absolutely beautiful. So we're really, really excited for that addition. We then have Little Naibor, where we've got the 2 rooms with the lounge area in the middle. We've got a double on one side and then a twin on the other, and there is enough space in here very easily to add an extra bed into both rooms. So you could feasibly have up to 4 kids staying here. There will also be a few little changes coming here as well, and we'll obviously be updating you as and when those happen. We then have Naibor Wilderness. So Naibor Wilderness is the one that I said is the kind of entry-level price point. It's also fantastic as an exclusive use camp. So it's only got 3 rooms, 3 tented suites, and then we have a main mess area here as well. And that means that it's very easily taken by kind of photographic groups or by family groups as well, but also really great for maybe an FIT couple whose budget doesn't stretch to that of main Naibor, and maybe they want, you know, they still want to be in the reserve, and you're trying to bring the cost of the full itinerary down. Naibor Wilderness is a really nice option for that. And then, of course, the main activity in the National Reserve is game drives. So you have incredible herds here throughout the migration season. And I mean, when we were here, it was incredibly lush and green, so it was really beautiful. And the game here just really is incredible. 2 nights here, and we had seen 4 of the big 5. We just hadn't seen rhino while we were here, which I think is quite hard to come by sometimes. But yeah, we had an incredible amount of game, and the cats were really amazing. So a quick look back on Naibor. So we've got the 3 different camps, different price points, in a really lovely location on the Talek River. And then we also have game drives here. We can do walking safaris, provided that it's done outside of the reserve, and provided guests kind of let us know in advance. Hot air balloons are amazing here. So guests can book this when they're in camp, but obviously anything that can be booked in advance is best. And we do also have a lovely spa tent as well, and Lillian is magic. She really helped work out a lot of the kind of stiffness from international flights on all of us on our trip. And we can also do cultural visits to a local village as well, which is actually where a lot of the staff come from. So moving on to Loa Wilderness. So Lewa is located up in the Lewa Conservancy, up in the Laikipia area, and it borders, Lewa Conservancy borders Barana Conservancy, and they do have a sort of semi-open system in terms of the game there. It is a family-owned and run property. The Craig family have been running Loa Wilderness for 50 years now, and they have lived, they've lived in this area for the last 100 years as well. The Conservancy is home to the Big 5, and you are pretty much guaranteed to see rhino, and quite a few of them. We kind of got off the airstrip, and within about 10-15 minutes we saw rhino mating. We had incredible sightings of rhino throughout our stay, and so it is a really amazing spot for them. Also, you have the Gravy zebra here, which is a unique species of zebra, and also the reticulated giraffes as well. So unique game sightings, as well as, you know, what you would expect also. And the variety of activities here is what really makes it very unique. And also their big focus on kind of sustainability, both in the conservation and the conservation work that the Conservancy do, but also they kind of have a very strong sort of farm to fork perspective on the food. They have a carpentry workshop here where all of the everything is produced for the lodge and its furnishings. So there's a big focus on kind of working with the communities and working as sustainably as possible. So the main house is actually where Will and Emma Craig still live. They live in the upstairs area, and then downstairs is actually the sort of veranda area, is where guests kind of meet for afternoon tea before heading out on their game drives. This is the beautiful dining area. The view from the dining area is absolutely stunning. And actually, when we were here just now, when my colleague was here in August, when Orla was here, it was brown. It was probably browner than this. And those were all the photos I'd seen of Lewa recently. And then when we arrived, they had just had, I mean, pretty torrential rain, in fact. And it was so green. It was like Eden. It was absolutely beautiful. So either time of year, any time of year, it is absolutely beautiful here. But I have to say, the green, the lush green was just absolutely stunning. They have a lovely big pool area, also overlooking that amazing view. And then we have the cottages, which are split between garden and hillside cottages. So we have 4 of the garden cottages. These are all 2 bedrooms, and they are really enormous. You have got plenty of space for family here. There's a third twin bed in all of them as well. And we can add in cots and extra beds too. So it can really sleep, it can sleep a number of people in here. We then have our hillside cottages. There is family options in the hillside cottages as well, and these just have that amazing view. They are further from the main area, so it's kind of good to note that the garden cottages are the ones that are very close to that main area, and the dining and the bar area, and then the hillside cottages are that little bit further, but you have that benefit of that incredible view. And then in terms of the activities, so apart from obviously game drives, you could head out walking here. We have the camels, so you can head out on the camels, and we also have horses as well, so you can head out on horseback. And the horses you can see out grazing with the zebras and with the plains game, so you can get really close without them kind of being phased by you at all, which is really incredible. We have our farm, which I definitely would recommend going and visiting, just to kind of really understand how strong the farm to fork kind of movement is here. Nearly everything you eat at the property is from this little farm, or from surrounding neighborhoods as well, but mostly from here. And we also have the carpentry workshop as well, which is very, very interesting to go and see. They also run a Walking Wild, which is a 3-day walking experience. So you walk through the conservancy with the camels carrying the tents and things, and you set up camp each night. So that's a really cool experience for those people who are a bit more intrepid. It is definitely for sort of fitter guests. It is kind of not too treacherous, but it's definitely a definitely more challenging, but a really amazing experience to have walking through the conservancy. And then, as I said about the conservation, the Lewa Conservancy is very pioneering in their conservation. We were lucky enough to visit the headquarters, and they've got some incredible technology that I could have sat there for hours looking at. You can also visit the anti-poaching unit, and then also just learn about the different communities and how they encompass the community in the working of the conservancy. So a quick look back at Naibor Wilderness. So we've got the 4 garden cottages and the 5 hillside cottages. We're in the Lewa Conservancy up in Laikipia. That's a quick look at the rates as well. And then just an absolute abundance of activity. So I think that's what's really lovely about twinning with somewhere like the Mara Reserve, where you kind of almost do those game drives every day. You see loads of game and you're really kind of ticking it off. And then you can arrive at Lewa and you can almost relax then and kind of head out on horseback, go walking, and kind of have that kind of be sort of almost closer to the nature when you get there. So moving on to the last leg of the trip, which is the beach. So Zanzibar White Sand is located in the southeast side of the island, Paje Beach. It is one of the best kite surfing beaches in the world. People come from all over to kite surf here, and the conditions really are quite perfect. They were even kite surfing actually while we were there, and it is technically the off season at the moment. It will be picking back up in kind of mid-December. It is a relay and chateau property, and so the dining is amazing and fantastic seafood, as you would expect. And it is quite a secluded area. So Paje Beach is sort of about a 15-minute walk south of Paje Village, and it is a quieter kind of beach area. As you can see, it is quite tidal. So that is one thing we always talk about, is that the tides do go way out on Paje and on quite a few areas of Zanzibar. I think particularly the East Coast. And so we kind of plan our day around the tides. So when you're considering, or guests are considering what to do here, they want to go, have a spa experience, they want to head into Stone Town, or they want to walk up to Paje Village. Those are great low tide activities. And then when the tide comes back in, you can head to the water sports centre and grab a paddleboard or a kayak and head out. So you kind of almost plan your day around what the tide is doing. We have 15 villas here. So we've got 5 beachfront villas. So these are 1 bedroom, and they're an enormous plot. So this is a 1,500 square metre plot. You've got a separate living and dining space just here, and then the 1 bedroom down the bottom. You've got a lovely big plunge pool, and also that roof terrace at the top there. And then the garden villas, the family garden villas, there's 5 of these, and they are almost the same in terms of the layout. The only difference being that when you walk up those stairs, you're in another bedroom. And those 2 bedrooms are identical in terms of size and style. One can, of course, be made into a twin. So if you do have kids staying, we pop the kids maybe upstairs. But what I always do say is we wouldn't put very small children upstairs because you don't have internal access between the 2 rooms. So great for families with kids who don't need mum and dad in the night. But as you can see, the bedrooms are absolutely enormous, so you can really easily add a cot or an extra bed into these bedrooms anyway. You then have your bathroom behind here, and there is also an outdoor bathroom as well in the 1 and 2 bedroom villas. You've also got this extra space here in the living and dining space also, and you do have outdoor dining here as well. new villas, we now have 4 garden villas. So 3 of these will come with a hot tub, and then 1 of them will have a pool, and they've got a nice little sort of garden courtyard outside. These will be coming in at a slightly lower price point than the 1-bedroom villas, so it will make it slightly more accessible, and also they then still have kind of use of all of the resort facilities as well. We then have our presidential 5-bedroom villa. This is a huge villa, perfect for a big group or family. And we also, in the low season, sell this as separate rooms. So you can take just 1 room in this villa. And obviously that brings you in at a lower price point, makes it a little bit more accessible for couples who also maybe don't feel they need all the space of one of the 1-bedroom villas. We then also have our cinema rooms. So these are kind of the entry-level room and entry-level price point of all the rooms at White Sand. They're lovely, comfortable rooms. You've got a double, you've got a quadruple and a family. The quadruple and family both sleep 4. You just have 2 bathrooms in the family unit and just the 1 in the quadruple unit. And as I said, the food here is incredible. We've got 2 restaurants. We've got the Doors to Zanzibar restaurant, which is where guests have breakfast and also does really beautiful dinners. And then the beach restaurant is kind of the perfect lunch spot. Amazing seafood here, and it's much more kind of casual and barefoot. There's various bars around the property. You've got, this is the main bar, and then upstairs there is actually a rooftop bar as well, where they can host management drinks once a week. While we were there, they actually had a kind of cinema viewing as well up on the rooftop bar there, and it's a beautiful spot to take in the sunset. And then we also do have the main pool as well. So all the rooms either come with a hot tub or a pool, but you also have this main pool as well. So when that tide is out, there is plenty of places to come and cool off and to swim. And of course, the spa is a really big part of Zanzibar White Sand. We've got 2 of these beautiful outdoor treatment rooms. There's a sauna, and there's also an infrared sauna. There's a hammam, and there's even a treatment area for nails and hair. So all of your beauty and pampering treatments can be done here. In terms of the water sports activities, we have paddle boards, we've got the clear kayaks, and also the Hobie Cat as well. And these are all complimentary, so these are all included. If guests would like sailing lessons, then they can add that on as well. And then we also do have the kite surfing, of course, which is incredible here and just wonderful conditions. So we have complete beginners come and learn to kite surf here, right up to professionals who come here to kite surf as well. We also have our dhow, so we can take guests out on a dhow excursion. And this is just a quick look back at White Sand and just kind of overview. So we've got 15 villas, and that we've sort of extended the number of villas we've got with the 4 garden villas this year, and we also have got those cinema rooms as well, so don't forget about those. We've got a little look at the rates here in the main seasons, and also right up to festive season, and then loads to do here as well. So we've also got bikes and electric bikes, so guests can cycle down, sorry, flies in here for some reason today, can cycle down the beach into Page Village. And that's a really nice activity to do when the tide has gone out, because you can cycle along the beach on the hard sand. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that was informative. If you would like more information on the clients, I will be sending that out in the next couple of days, and I will include links to their individual webinars as well. Please let me know if you've got any questions. You can also send them through by email to myself, Anita, or Orla. We're happy to help. And if you need anything, you know where we are. Thank you very much, and have a lovely rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are.